Hello, this is Coach Brian here from People Empire, and today we're gonna talk about intermittent fasting. So I'm gonna talk about what is intermittent fasting and how to do it. Okay, so let me open my slide. Where is my slide? Okay, here we go. All right, so what is intermittent fasting? Okay, so the definition for intermittent fasting is an eating pattern where you cycle between periods of eating and fasting. Okay, so the meaning to this is that when after you eaten, and then there's a period of time where we don't eat, and that's where we are fasting. Okay, so it is not changing what you eat, but it's changing when you eat. Okay, so in this intermittent fasting, uh, it's not talking about what you're going to change your food, but it's actually saying that um, you are in control of when you are eating. Okay, so some people might think intermittent fasting, is it starvation yourself? No, it's not. Okay, intermittent fasting is not like, it's not to starve yourself. Okay, starvation is a different meaning. Okay, starvation is a involuntary thing that something that you can control. Okay, and and when you are starving, of course, definitely, it will, of course, like it's been like a long period of time where there's no food in your system, so definitely it will lead to like dangerous effect. Like it could lead to death. Okay, so but for intermittent fasting, it's a voluntary thing, so you are in control of it. Okay, so it doesn't mean that of course, especially when you're feeling of hunger, like really really hungry already, and you feel like really sick, so definitely you're in control of that to eat. Okay, so starvation and intermittent fasting are different meaning to it. Okay, so intermittent fasting, people use this mostly like for spiritual or health or other reasons. Okay, so fasting in this, mostly you have heard like in for where religious people use it. Okay, and for religious people who use fasting, because like example in a Christian book, in the Bible, they say that where Jesus said that if you fast, then you are actually cleansing your body. Okay, so uh, well, that's the use of it lah. But for, if you, let's say you want to use it for spiritual, like maybe you can use it. Some people use it for meditating. Some people wake up and they meditate first, and they don't just to relax and really kind of like de-load and de-stress from of their body. Okay, and so these are like reasons of aspects of people use intermittent fasting. But right now that a lot of people are using intermittent fasting for weight loss. Okay, so I'm going to mostly talk about of intermittent fasting for weight loss. Okay, so if you want to use IF for weight loss, how is it integrated to it? Is that it allows the body to use its stored energy. Okay, for example, it will burn off the excess body fat. Okay, so here I have a picture here. um, okay, so example, like let's say that when let's say you eat your food. Okay, so when you eat your food, okay, um, there's this thing called insulin. Okay, so your insulin, once you eat your food, your insulin, this thing will increase. Okay, so once it increases, okay, it's a process that it will turn off. It will take your food and then process it to store it in somewhere. Okay, so in this the substance of your food, it will store it in, firstly is in your liver. Okay, so But in the liver, okay, there's a limit capacity to it. Okay, so once this limit capacity is reached to its maximum, okay, and it will automatically take that extra energy and transfer it to other places. Okay, it could transfer to your muscle. Okay, so let's say I took example of like, okay, I eat carbs. Okay, because uh, carbs are like our most main energy sources. Okay, but in your carb sources, it contains glucose. Okay, so where it contains glucose, so that's what actually gives us the energy. Okay, so in glucose is also the same meaning to sugar. Okay, so once it enters the body, it goes through this insulin, and once it reaches the maximum capacity of the liver, it will then transfer to other places, and it will then turn into fat. Okay, so then that's how the process of the extra energy will then become fat. That's why you see most people who are overweight. That means they have overuse of energy storage in them. Okay, so because could be because they are eating too much, and maybe their activity level is not that much, so that's why there are a lot of energy stored in their body. Okay, so now when you want to burn off this extra storage of the energy, which is your fat. Okay, so that's why we use intermittent fasting. So when you don't eat any food, okay, once you don't eat any food, which you are fasting, okay, it will make the insulin decrease. Okay, so once the insulin decreases, your body will automatically signal itself to find other energy sources. Okay, because there's no food coming in anymore, so it has to replace the energy for your body in order to work. Okay, so that's why it will try to go search for the extra storage from your body in the liver, and once the liver is normal, maybe then it will search for other places. Okay, so that's how it will help to burn the stored sugar and burn fat. Okay, so I'm not going to be explaining more in detail of how all this kind of like procedure is. Okay, uh, I'm just going to say the basic and the things that you guys should know only, simply. Okay, so next one I'm going to talk about is the types of methods of how you can use intermittent fasting. Okay, so the first one would be 16 to 8 method. Okay, so the 16 to 8 method is you're going to be 16 hours of fast, and 8 hours you're going to break your fast. Okay, excuse me. So for example, usually how would you do this in this method? Usually when we sleep, okay, then we wake up the next morning. During when we sleep, you are actually already fasting. Okay, so once when we start fasting, all we have to do is just kind of like prolonger the fast. So if you see the picture here, so once you wake up, you just have to prolong your fast to until 12 p.m. afternoon. Okay, so that's where you have your first meal and you break your fast. Okay, and uh, uh, then you will have your last meal by 8 p.m. Okay, um, usually in 8 hours, it doesn't really mean that in 8 hours I can eat all whatever I want or how many times I want. Okay, because intermittent fasting is just that it helps you to really fast and digest longer. Okay, because that's why you have your last meal by 8 p.m. So there's just 2 meals in a day lah. Okay, and after that, after you reach 8 p.m., then you stop. Okay, then you're gonna repeat the process again. You're gonna repeat 16 hours again. Okay, so in this method, you can actually still drink water. Okay, you can still drink water, coffee, and other zero-calorie beverages. Okay, um, one thing I should say that the important thing is that you should avoid that is any sugar substance in it lah. Okay, for mostly I think like coffee, they will have sugar in it, like you call for kopi o. kopi or peng, so definitely inside they will have sugar in it. So unless if you call for kopi or kosong, definitely there's no sugar in it. Okay, because remember what I said. If you have sugar in it, then it will increase your insulin. Okay, so that in that point it will be harder for you to actually uh, lower your insulin. Okay, so try to avoid sugary stuff. Okay, and it is important to eat healthy foods. Okay, whole foods as well. Okay, instead of junk food. Okay, because you do, of course, like when you are fasting and you want to lose weight, and be more healthier, of course, definitely you're not just gonna go for junk food, of course, because junk food, of course, uh, it will actually increase your insulin as well. Okay, so this is the 16 to 8 method. This method is actually what most people would use now, and it is actually a very kind of like a good beginner style to start with. Okay, so the next method I could say is the 5-to-2 diet ratio. Okay, so the 5-to-2 ratio diet, it is eating normal for 5 days and eating at a very low calorie intake of 500 to 600 for 2 days. Okay, so if you see the picture here, let's say in day one, you eat normally. Okay, so you eat normally means that you still have 3 meals. Okay, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, but it doesn't mean that you have to, you still can get to eat whatever you want. Okay, so you still just have to really eat healthier. Okay, but your calories still can be over, but not too over. Okay, so when you reach to your low calorie intake that day. Okay, um, here it's recommended that for women in a day for their low calorie intake will be 500 calories. Okay, and then for men will be 600 calories. Okay, so in this way you can separate it. Usually, like how would you can do like split it to like 250 calories in your lunch, or 250 to your dinner. Okay, so this is also the same as the previous method, the 16 to 8. You still can drink your water as well normally, but also keep in mind, just try to avoid any sugary stuff. Okay, and so if you see clearly in the picture here, uh, just keep in mind that actually you don't have to really kind of like schedule it like this. You can schedule it any way how you want it to, but it's best recommended to have in between of eating normally, because uh, that way you can be more used to it. Because this one is usually for actually really for also for really beginners who can really get used uh, to the 16 to 8 method yet, or because some people can really skip their breakfast, So you can try out this method. And then the next method would be eat, stop, eat. Okay. So the eat, stop, eat is by fasting from dinner one day to dinner next day. Okay. This is actually you're gonna fast for 24 hours. Okay. So if you see the picture here I have, so day one, you're gonna eat same normally, and then in the next day, you're gonna fast for 24 hours. Okay, so uh, you can actually, you can actually, it doesn't matter if you fast from, just have to be fast from dinner. You can actually start from your breakfast as well. So meaning you fast from your breakfast to your breakfast next day, okay, or lunch, it's the same effect. Okay, as long as you already reached the 24 hours, after that you can start eating again. Okay, and so in this method is actually quite a more advanced one, because it is require you to really fast 24 hours a day. Okay, so if you really if you really want to be more advanced, okay, you can try out this method. Okay, and same goes as well for this one. You can still drink your water, coffee. Okay, but remember, since you are doing a 24-hour fast, there will be no solid foods. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions you want to ask, comment down below, okay? And we will reply you back, okay? And yeah, see you guys soon. Bye.